Hey guys, today you're going to be joining me in my house. I live in this beautiful cabin and we have a garden in the back where we get to take out some beautiful flowers, and I love taking flowers and arranging them and just creating beauty in the home. So this video is going to be a collection of various videos and different days and moments from the last few weeks. You're going to see clips from my trip back home to New York at the end of September, and then have a few different heart-to-hearts with me. So I'm glad that you clicked on this video, and I hope that it's full of awesome good things and that you keep coming back for more. So thanks for watching. Let's go. Hey guys, this is a little awkward position, but I'm currently driving to get breakfast with a friend that I met recently, and we're going to check out the Pancake Farm in Ephrata. Today is Sunday. It's actually a Sunday morning, and I have actually been going to church. I don't know if you can hear my car. It's making all these funny noises, and it's just like, I'm doing what I can to get by. But I've actually been going to church on Saturday evenings, because the church I go to has a Saturday night service and then a Sunday service, and I've just felt a lot of peace about going to a Saturday evening service, mainly because it still feels like this is like a temporary spot for me, and I still feel very connected to what God is doing back home, my church back home. And so to go to a service here on a Sunday morning would feel a little bit like too much. Just wouldn't feel right. But Saturday nights are nice because a lot of other people from different churches come to the Saturday evening service, because we're really one of the only Saturday services around, I believe. So it's nice to have that option. I actually have been really praying about finding community, like really good relationships, connections. And last night God totally met me and provided for me. I was really struggling going into church last night, just feeling kind of unseen, and like people, didn't really see me or care to, be there for me. Yeah, that's my brakes. And so I was feeling a little salty, and honestly was kind of hesitant to go into church, but I sat in the car and was honest with God about how I felt, and then I felt released to go in. And so I actually, oh boy, this is why I need a phone stand that goes horizontal. So I went in, I sat in a different spot than I usually do. I sat towards the back because I just wanted some of my own space and wanted to see things from a different perspective. And where I was sitting wasn't really full of people at first, and then some people started filing in. And during the sermon, the pastor was just in his message speaking about Paul and his life, and so he had different people stand up in the congregation. Started with 13-year-olds, and then he did 24-year-olds, I believe, 25-year-olds, and then 28, 29-year-olds, and then he did 44, and then 68 maybe, and they were key years in Paul's life. And so obviously I'm 29, so I stood up with 28, 29, and there weren't many people that stood up, and it's been a prayer of mine to find people close to my age. Well, the girl in front of me stood up as well, and I was like, oh my goodness, like, God, I would love to, like, have somebody close in age with me to talk to and be connected with. And so I went up to her after the service and we got talking, and we hung out in the cafe for a while afterwards, her and her husband and her little daughter, and we just had like a really good time and bonded and agreed that we want to hang out every now and then and whatever. So God is just like really faithful. He's really providing. It's very humbling. It's humbling to be in a place that I did not expect and didn't ask for, and didn't even, wasn't even really on my radar to do something like this at this point in my life. It continues to be a thing where, there's moments where I feel like, Lord, this is another reminder of me letting everything go and like not feeling like I can take care of myself right now. And it's really humbling. And that's kind of where my heart's been at, is like, Lord, I have nothing, but you are everything. And you're going to have to take care of me because this was your desire. It is not something that I asked for or dreamed up for myself. So you're going to have to take care of me. And I think I can be bold with him like that, because he's my father and he's a good father, and I'm his daughter. And he sees my heart, he knows my needs. And in a father-daughter relationship, you want honesty, you want connection, and you want trust. And so I know that even in the midst of things being difficult, he understands my emotions, and he understands that it's not easy, and that there are moments that are really hard. And I think that he's okay with that. I think he's okay with me feeling those emotions and not feeling okay all the time. But that my heart is still open to letting him move and work. Like me going into church last night when I didn't really want to. Or like, honestly, I went in to church, and when worship started, I had my hands in my pockets, and I just wasn't really like, I didn't feel it. But I made myself available, and it's amazing what God can do when we make ourselves available, when we open our hearts to him. So I am almost there, so I'm going to stop the video here. But thanks for coming along with me, driving to the pancake farm. So the pancake farm was absolutely delicious. I had a really great time with my friend Isabel. I actually ended up getting a Mexican burrito and got a side of pancakes, and definitely had leftovers to enjoy. I ended up going to Middle Creek Reservoir after my time with Isabel at Pancake Farm, which you see right here. It was a beautiful fall day, and I got to go out and walk around and honestly just enjoy the view and take a little time to myself. Everything that's happened in the last few weeks has been just so much. I mean, it's been so rich and it's been so full of life. But it's good to just get out and get perspective sometimes. And there's something about breathing in the fresh air and looking at the mountains and the hills and just reminding yourself that the Lord is above all of those. It's good to remember that in the midst of life, he is above all of those things, and he knows every detail of our lives, and he cares about us, and his goodness and mercy really are following us all of the days of our lives, even though sometimes it's hard to see it. But if we just stop and look around, we can see that the earth still goes on, life still goes on, and we don't have any choice but to believe in his goodness. So I ended up bringing my Ninja Foodi with me to Pennsylvania, and one of my favorite things to make in my Ninja Foodi is chicken wings. So I ended up buying some chicken wings from the grocery store. Actually got a really good deal on a pack of wings, like 12 wings for $3 something. So that was a really good steal. I think I got them at Ebenezer's, and like I've shared in my podcast, I really enjoy Sharp Shopper and Ebenezer's because you can find really good groceries for really good prices. So I grabbed some chicken wings, and I usually just grab a pack and I take apart the drumstick from the leg, and I cut them, and then I just mix them up with some hot sauce. Usually I use oregano and a little bit of vinegar, but I didn't have any vinegar, so I just used hot sauce that I had gotten from the grocery store, some Walnut Creek hot sauce, and then I added some Frank's Red Hot dry seasoning and just mixed it all together and let it sit in the fridge for a while so that the chicken could soak up the flavor. I don't love just doing it right away. I actually really like letting the chicken marinate so that it can, seep with flavor, and they're just a lot better like that. So they were really, really good. They came out so well. They were super yummy. I am definitely going to be doing this again. My roommates were like, it smells like buffalo in here, and one of my roommates tried one and she really liked it. So I'm going to keep doing it because it's really cheap and it's just really yummy. So at this point, we're actually going to rewind a little bit and check out the weekend that I had back in New York at the end of September. I am so happy to be home. It feels so different. Thank you, Jesus. So being at home was beautiful, and words fail to describe how amazing the fellowship was and how God took care of me. I really went into the weekend with not much money at all. I had gas, but it wouldn't have been my definition of enough, right? But how often when we give the Lord our obedience and our willingness, how he will take care of us. So I went into the weekend, like I said, with not much, honestly, at all, and I was just blessed with numerous opportunities of pizza and a beautiful beef lunch feast and chili for dinner on Sunday, and just people willing and wanting to be there for me and invite me in and hear about everything God is doing. And it just really blessed me to be in Oneonta in that capacity, because being in Oneonta before, to a degree, it was just a lot of me functioning in ways that were old ways. And like I shared before, I've given a lot of myself and spent a lot of energy in Oneonta just being there and serving and taking care of people. And so it was nice to go back to Oneonta and just like fully receive and to see a little bit of the fruit of things that I had sown. And it was just a real blessing. My chiropractor was so nice, and they called me. I actually had gotten on one of the wait lists because I really wanted to get in. And my chiropractor has just been super generous, like in this season, and just like blessing me, like financially. And so I went in, and yeah, I got the call on my way home that like, hey, we have an opening at 6 o'clock tonight. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's like, I'm scheduled to be home around 5:15. This is perfect. So I got in, got to share with him what God has been up to, and just going into a chiropractic session now versus before. I went in before just full of stress and like, yeah, a lot of weight on my shoulders, and this time it was just super light and I didn't feel so stressed. So it was really nice, and I just really enjoyed a lot of fellowship with people. So I'll add a few clips here of some of the experiences I had while I was at home with friends. Whoopie pies with Jenna.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Because of copyright, I can't include the audio to this video, but in church we sang the song, I Will Make Room for You. Well, the song is called Make Room, but that song has meant a lot to me, and it's one of the songs that really marked the beginning of this season for me, and so I was super blessed by that.
I gotta get an idea of what I have here first. So Heather, we do it like how we are looking.
I'm currently at this point right now. It's a Friday, so I've gone through the week. I actually just got back from New York last weekend. I got back on Monday, have settled in a little bit more in my new apartment, and got my bedding all situated. My room is still a mess. I have still so much to unpack, but this week has been good, been challenging in certain ways emotionally, but I've been really like, I shared in my last video, I've been healing quite a bit and just working through some things in my heart. And before I moved to Oneonta, I would have really like deep, intimate encounters with the Lord, and that kind of, I don't want to say it like stopped when I was in Oneonta, but it was just different. My time with the Lord was different. It was very missional. It was very, God gave me a word to go and just, serve and be there. And I would consistently run back to Him and consistently run back to the source, but it wasn't like the intimate times that I had had before, where I would just spend like hours in God's presence. And maybe it's just because there's a house of prayer here, but this area just feels like I have space to do that again. And I know it doesn't depend on area. There's seasons for everything, and but I'm super grateful that I have that house of prayer to go to if I want to at like 12 in the morning, and stay until 4 in the morning, which is what I did the other night. I actually was I was in my room and I was watching some Netflix, and all of a sudden, I knew God was in my room. I didn't physically see him, but I knew where he was standing. And there was this holy moment of, shoot, I can't keep watching this. Lord, speak to me. And so I got down on the ground and knelt down, and he said, I want you to go to the house of prayer. And I was like, okay, well, Lord, I don't have access to the night watch because there's a code on the door. I haven't gotten permission for the code yet. So what am I going to do about this? And I just felt a very clear directive of go. So I went, and when I got there about 12:30, I knocked on the door, but there's a door that separates the house of prayer from the actual entryway. And so nobody heard me at that point. So I said, okay, well, I'm just going to go sit in my car, and I'm just going to talk to God. And I felt him do a lot of things in my heart. I knew he was there with me. It was one of the holiest experiences I've probably ever had in my whole entire life. And it was really season altering for me. And what I mean by that is I saw the Lord take my war-torn clothes, a gown that had been ripped and torn and mattered just from battle. And I felt him say, I want to take those, and I want you to put on a new gown, and I want you to pick out this new gown. And so I did, and something really broke in me. And so then, some time goes on, and I went back and forth about, Lord, do I stay? But I really felt like I should stay until about 4 a.m. So at this point, it's getting towards 2 o'clock, and I saw somebody walk into the entryway of the prayer house. And so I was like, I'm just going to go knock on the door and see if they see me. And so I went and knocked on the door, and somebody let me in. So I'm so glad I followed God's voice, because it was a beautiful time of worship. It was, man, God has put such a burning in my heart to get involved in a prayer house. I actually have applied to become a worship leader for one or more of the watches that they have, which their watches are split up into 2-hour increments. And I'm highly considering the night watch, just because my schedule allows for it right now. And there's something really beautiful about meeting with the Lord in the middle of the night. When everybody else is asleep, but God is still up. It's so special, and it's just so unique, and it's so raw and beautiful. And yeah, there's not enough words for it, but I actually am kind of sorting out in my heart a little bit of Lord, what's the vision for the future? What, I know I'm here right now, and I know that you have me in this place, but what is my call? What are you calling me to? And I think I'd really love to establish a house of prayer. I feel like that is a call of mine, and my heart has always been for worship, although I'm very, very, I want to say picky, but I hold worship very highly, and I don't take it lightly. It's not something that you just do for more money. It's not something that you can just produce. it's your heart. It's literally your heart. And I feel like there's a call for the body of Christ to not prostitute our worship, to not proselytize our worship. Like our worship is pure, our worship is holy, and God is looking for worshipers that will worship in spirit and in truth. And so I'm going to continue to explore this call. And I look forward to see what God will unfold with it, but I feel like he's given me some details regarding it, but not the whole picture. And so I would ask you to keep me in your prayers and pray with me that God would establish his rule and his reign in my life, and that his will would be done. So I look forward to see what else he'll do in this season. And yeah, just been a beautiful, beautiful time with the Lord. And so yesterday, well, when I got home from the prayer house, I went home and crashed and slept till 12 in the afternoon. And I think there's a temptation for me right now to believe that I'm not good enough, or what I'm doing is not good enough, that I'm not being productive enough. But I know those are lies, and I know that is the enemy trying to infiltrate my heart with lies and accusations, and I'm just not, I can't accept it. I can't accept that I'm not being productive and I'm not doing what God is asking me to do. So yeah, I'm thankful that he's given me this space. So yesterday I vegged and actually watched Netflix all day, just because I needed to not really engage my brain. I just felt like God was giving me space to rest, and so watched Netflix and just really rested. I've been taking Thursdays as my Sabbath. And you might think, well, isn't every day of your life a Sabbath? Like, you're not working. No. There's class, there's connections with people, there's working on my podcast, working on videos, posting content online. There's all these different things that I am still being productive. I'm taking care of our apartment. Like, I like to do the dishes and like tend our area and our space and just create a beautiful space. And so I am being productive. I'm not just like sitting back and going to the prayer house every single day, like 24 hours. Like, it's not like that. And even if it was, like, oh well, you know. But yeah, so Thursdays I'm taking as my Sabbath, and just like not really engaging too much on Thursdays, but just taking time to retreat. So yesterday was good, and today I woke up and didn't really know what the day was going to hold, but I reached out online just for some support, financial support, and got some help, so I'm very thankful for that. So I had to go out and get gas today in my car and put air in my tires and those kinds of things. And now I am sitting in the Good Store parking lot, because it's been like a weekly thing where I just come down here and like literally just walk around the store. I don't even necessarily buy anything, but if there's something I'll need, I'll buy it. But for the most part, I just like to walk around and see what they have, because it's kind of cool. They have different things. So yeah, I thought I'd share that update and just let you know what I'm up to. And I hope that it blessed you, and I hope that God continues to reveal to you what his plans are and what his purposes are. So thanks for listening, and yeah, we'll talk later. Thank you for watching my second video. I hope that you enjoyed it, and here are some fun clips of the last few days in Pennsylvania.
victory and the majesty, for all that is in the earth is yours. Yours is the kingdom, O Lord, and you are exalted as head above all.